All right, so you ready for your second project of geography? This is all about creating a brochure about a capital city. Your task, ladies and gentlemen, is to entice or persuade someone to visit a capital city. All right, so you're going to go to Unit 6 when you have turned in your landscape project. And I have not put the objectives in there yet, and I may not get to it. Just saying. All right. So let's click on what am I supposed to do? That's what this is mainly about. So I really don't want you to, actually, I'm going to exclude you from picking Washington, D.C., because that's within the United States. I really want you to pick obviously a foreign country's capital. I also do not want you to do Berlin, Germany, because the example that I'm going to show you is of Berlin, Germany. Okay. So basically, what I want you to do is be able to create a brochure to persuade people to visit that capital city. And I picked a capital city because a lot of information can be found about it. All right. So I'm going to show you what I did. And I did this on Google Slides because I could print it out and I could fold it and make it into a brochure. And if and this is an option for anybody to do as well. You can do a actual paper one, or you can do a digital one. So I'm going to make this big and kind of show you what I've done. I'll have to move this, I think. All right. So this, and I'll show you what this is all about. This is a trifold brochure made in Google Slides. And if you see what I did here, the background is their flag, which I thought was kind of cool. And I have created it where when you fold it, it will be the correct way. So this is on this side right here is the title flap. Okay. It is the title flap. And this portion here is the back of the brochure. Okay. And this third section here is on the inside. Okay. So if you're designing your brochure, you have two pieces of paper, or just one piece of paper and two sides. All right. So when you open it up and lay it flat on it, like this is how it's laid out. So when you fold it, the right side goes in, and of course, and then the left side goes over, and then that becomes your title page. So that's how I've laid this out. And I've created a template that kind of shows you where those what do you call it? Where those folds are going to be. Okay. So here's my title. I have a title for my brochure, and I have a picture of something that's famous in Berlin, which is the Brandenburg Gate or Brandenburger Tür. I took German in high school and college. And then I put in a little, well, what I did was this is in English and this is in German. On the back here, I put in pictures of restaurants. So here is a subheading so this whole section here is about food. And I guess I picked just one, which is fine, a place to eat. So you could recommend whoever's looking at this brochure a place to eat. Maybe that would have a traditional meal. So if you're in Beijing, China, which is the capital of China, recommend a restaurant that has traditional Chinese food. Okay, so that's what I did here. So what should you eat in Berlin? Go to Schwarzwaldstuben on Schulski Straße 48. All right, in Berlin. So it serves traditional German food, including Spätzle, Wiener Schnitzel and Bratwurst. Ooh, and I even put a link that you can actually go to their website to reserve a table. So, and if you click on it, it should, it's been a while, so yeah, Schwarzwaldstüben, Berlin. Awesome. So you can, yeah. So you're going to have to do some research, which we'll get to. All right. So back here. Okay. On the inside, this is the right outside flap. I put notable buildings and sites. So things that you should probably visit if you are in Berlin is the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church to remember World War II. So this is a monument. This is an actual church that survived, or at least partially survived, World War II, and sections of the torn down Berlin Wall in various locations. We got to see that. This is pretty amazing, and I've got to. I visited Berlin, so and that's why I picked that, so I could have a little more knowledge of that. So you can, throughout the city, there are pieces of the Berlin Wall that separated the East and the West right after World War II, and so you can see it's really interesting. So you should go check that out. Also, a famous cathedral, Berlin cathedral construction began, and I put just a smidge of a note about the history. It began, they began building it in 1451, and it ended in 1905. And I'm sure there's restoration projects, but this is just a smidge of history, notable buildings and sites that you should potentially see. All right, let's see. All right, so here's the inside. So once you open it up, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. So here are, here's the left flap when you open it up, and I put facts about Berlin. And you do not have to do the same layout. All right, this is your brochure. I want it to be creative. So the order that I have things in, you do not have to do that same. Okay. But what I put in there were population, the language, and the location. So the things that are going to be asked of you to research is this type of information. Okay, and I have a template for you to fill out for your research, so you'll know exactly what to find and put in your brochure. So I thought it might be very helpful to have a map, since we're talking about absolute location. So we're talking about our GPS coordinates, but also relative location. So you can show that on a map. So like if someone was doing a brochure on Fayetteville, Arkansas, then their relative location would be Northwest Arkansas. And then I said did the same thing here with Berlin. So the relative location is Northeast Germany. And a map obviously helps a lot as well. And I put a little bit of history, just the history of the city. Okay. You could write a whole book on the history of the capital, whatever capital you pick. Okay. But Berlin, the actual city, was founded during the 13th century. That's the 1200s. I also want you to find things to do while you are in your capital city. And I'm not really looking for like, you can go bowling, you can go shopping. Okay. You can do that anywhere. What is unique that you can do in the city that you pick? Okay. And so the two really interesting things that I found were, you can do a Segway tour of Berlin. Okay, so and I saw people on Segways when I was there, and they were following each other and trying to drive these things. It's just cool. So, and you can find websites that'll show you things to do in Berlin or whatever your capital city is. They probably have a website specifically for your capital for tourists. So use that. Might be helpful to give a dollar amount just so people know how much they might have to spend on some of these things. I also found, which they didn't have, or at least I didn't know about when I was there, museum pass. So 3-day museum pass, free entry over 30 exhibitions and museums, and it starts about 29 euros. Okay, so you can either do it in euros, which is the standard money in most of Europe, or you can show how much it costs in US dollars there. Okay. And one of the last things I would like you to find is some place to stay in your capital city. You could find several places if you wanted to, like maybe like a cheaper side hotel, like if people are on a budget, or you can find one of those really fancy ones, or you can find a mid-level hotel. This is not a bad price, $77, and this is where we stayed when we were in Berlin. So the Inglaterra Hotel on the Friedrichstrasse. Okay, and I found pictures of it, and the bathroom in the oh my gosh, I can't think, the rooms. All right, and other things that might stand out for that hotel. But there's information that people need in order to go to these places, or want specific information. So I didn't put on here, but like I did the restaurant, but you can find the websites and put them on here. So where to stay. So you're going to be mainly looking for things to do, where to stay, where to eat, some background information about their city, and what else? Nope, that's not where to eat. Notable buildings and sites. That would be historic. That's what I'm going for. Okay, or architecturally significant. Okay, so there you go. So that's basically what you're going to be doing for this particular. Nope, stop. Why aren't you leaving? There we go. For this particular project. And then I'm going to break down the project into like milestones, or checkpoints. So you're going to do research first, and you're going to turn that in, and then you're going to do a blueprint of your brochure, and then you'll do your final brochure. And I have dates for that as well. Okay, and I just listed a lot of I think there's like 218 countries, give or take, depending on the history. And here are some of them. Though these are probably more well known, but go out there and find some obscure thing and see if you can find information about it. It's your place, right? So that you want people to go to. It's all about persuasion. All right. So that's an intro to the next project, which is due on May 14th. You have 2 weeks to work on this. All right. That is it. Boo.